Check 1, 2. Check, testing, check.
Distinguished guests, participants, and students, thank you for joining us today. We kindly request all of you to switch off or put your mobile phones on silent.
We repeat, all of you are requested to switch off or put your mobile phones on silent. We are about to start the event. We request our dignitaries to occupy the dais.
A very good morning to our distinguished guests, participants, and students. I'm Swatika
And I'm Alex.
and we'll be the host for Amrit Kaal-Vimarsh Viksit Bharat at 2047, a development dialogue in the campuses of higher education institutions in India initiated by the University Grants Commission. Viksit Bharat at 2047 is the vision of the Government of India to make India a developed nation by 2047, the 100th year of its independence. The vision encompasses various aspects of development, including economic growth, social progress, environmental sustainability, and good governance. With this perspective, the UGC has initiated the campus dialogue in higher education institutions that may encourage public discussions through comments, queries, and Q&A and reframe the youth imagination towards achieving the goal of Viksit Bharat at 2047.
Global Leaders Forum of PSG College of Technology takes pride in hosting the Amrit Viksit Bharat at 2047 Development Dialogue on Fostering Resilience in India through Sustainable Practices. Today, we embark on a journey of enlightenment and discovery where intellect meets inspiration and aspirations soar high. Let us begin the event with the rendition of Amrita's Alto as Nandita will guide us through. Wait for everyone to rise.
நீராறும் கடலுடத்த நிலமடந்த கெழிலுழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமெதில் தெக்கணமும் மதிசிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திரும்பியந்து செயல் மறந்த வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே.
Thank you, everyone. Now, with utmost respect and admiration, we invite Dr. K.P. Radhika, Faculty Advisor of the Global Leaders Forum, to deliver the welcome address, setting the stage for an enriching discourse ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, respected principal, dear students and dignitaries of the stage, good morning and a heartfelt welcome to the campus dialogue session commemorating the Amrit Kaal-Vimarsh Viksit Bharat at 2047. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, the future depends on what you do today. We gathered here today to sow the seeds of a bright future for our nation through dialogue and collaboration. On behalf of the management, principal and faculty of PSG College of Technology, it's my distinct honor to welcome each and every one of you to this significant event. Welcoming you all, I am reminded of the words of Helen Keller, who once said, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Together, let us strive to catalyze positive change and progress." We extend our sincere gratitude to the Prime Minister's Office, the Ministry of Education, Government of India, and the University Grants Commission for entrusting our institution with the opportunity to host an event of this stature. To commence our proceedings, it's my privilege to extend a hearty and joyful welcome to our distinguished speaker and the guest of today, Mr. Mohammed Salim. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Mr. Salim, through your dedication to sustainable development and your role as a national geographic educator, you exemplify the spirit of proactive decision making and positive impact. We are deeply honored by your presence and eagerly anticipate the wisdom you will impart upon us. Welcome you, sir. A special word of gratitude goes to our managing trustee, Sri L. Gopalakrishnan Avargal, under whose leadership and guidance we have embarked on this journey of learning and collaboration towards a bright future. I extend a warm welcome to Dr. Prakasan, Principal of PSG College of Technology, whose steadfast support and commitment to excellence inspires us always, sir. Welcome, sir. A cordial welcome is extended to the deans, directors, heads of departments, and esteemed faculty members present here today. I welcome the members of the press who are here to document and disseminate the discussions that transpire during this event. To our student participants, I extend a cheerful welcome. As Helen Keller once said, optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Your presence here today reflects your optimism and belief in the power of collective action. I encourage you all to actively participate, share your perspectives, and embrace the opportunity to learn and grow together. Once again, a warm welcome to each one of you. Let us embark on this journey of dialogue and discovery together. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am. Leadership is the art of giving people a platform for spreading ideas and work. Except Gordon. Continuing our journey, we are privileged to welcome our principal, Dr. K. Prakasan sir, to share his profound insights to the presidential address.
Distinguished speaker of this event, Mr. Mohammed Salim, National Geographic Educator, President, Environment Conservation Group, Swachh Bharat Ambassador, Dr. K.P. Radhika, Deans, Heads of Departments, Faculty Members, Media, Press, dear students, a very good morning to all of you, and I join Dr. K.P. Radhika in welcoming you all for this special lecture on sustainability organized through the guidance of UGC, Government of India, supported by our management and Government of Tamil Nadu. The word Amritagal, Amrit means nectar. So next 25 years is some golden era for our nation. So if you put any effort, it will grow in leaps and bounds. That's why a lot of activities are happening in churning the entire the population of this country through various modes. One fundamental issue is sustainability. So when we learned in our engineering or whatever education was happening those days, this word was not given so much of prominence. The reason being the demands were less, economic activities were less, exploitation of the nature was very, very less, and nobody exploited much. But later, maybe late 90s, after the advent of internet, many things have changed, population increased, demands have gone up. Of course, to live you need opportunity, so exploration happens. Part of it is exploitation, and it continues. Then somebody has woken up and what we do is not correct, especially the steel making in Pittsburgh, US. There are classical examples of exploitation of nature. And what happens to the other living beings other than human beings, animals, plants, many things are living with us, we don't know. But what happens to them? So these are all questions on sustainability. So nothing can be done arbitrarily without looking at the impact that we cause to the surrounding where we live in. If everybody is careful, it can be minimized. So the role of engineering education is to get new technologies which will minimize the increase in entropy. I can put only in that way. It's a very big word. I think you can listen to the speaker. He will definitely illuminate you on higher aspects of sustainability. This needs data. See, if you want to do something new, you cannot do arbitrarily with some guess. You need data. So if you see the videos of National Geographic, either in TV or by subscribing separately, I used to wonder how they have done this much of experiments, whether it is wildlife, whether it is pollution, whether it is atmospheric studies. I think maybe NASA will be giving them a lot of data. So some of you can try. Even some of the corporates are requesting us to make study on atmosphere and the pollution level in atmosphere. We can't do it arbitrarily. So the data from NASA or somewhere you have to subscribe, which may be a little expensive, but these are all the projects which you may take up later, either in your career or the next generation who are coming to learn engineering or science in institutions like VSG. So you are all having a great opportunity, a lot of flexibility to learn today. So try to improve and expand your imagination. And I have a question to you. If you want, you try to answer. Who is the person planting maximum number of trees in the world? Squirrel. Squirrel is the thing, because there is another philosophical meaning also for that. You watch squirrel, it is very swift, agile. It will be pricking something all the time and digging the mud and suddenly disappearing out of fear of predators, or it may be forgetting, and it really forgets what it has done. There are seeds of fruits, whatever it eats, it buries to come and eat it again. But it doesn't get a chance because it will be running continuously. Even in my house, I used to see gate got a grill, it will go perfectly like a wave. It will not get hurt. So intelligent it is. The answer is, it does something good, but it forgets. So do good and forget. That is the greatest quality of a human being. Try to do that, and I'm sure the distinguished speaker will give you more on sustainability, on the animals. Even in childhood, or even if I visit my native, I used to listen to some birds. They make seasonal sound. They won't come in all the seasons. Some seasons only it will come. It makes specific sound. You can expect rain after some time. All these are the Twitter. No, you have a company called Twitter, similar to that. They are harbingers of our life. So please have some time to understand sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful discourse. We now invite Dr. Bhuvaneshwari, Faculty Advisor of Global Leaders Forum, to introduce the chief guest.
Respected principal, chief guests, deans, heads of various departments, faculty members, and dear students, good morning to everyone. It is my privilege to introduce to you our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Mohammad Salim. Mr. Salim is the National Geographic educator, a role that underscores his commitment to the spreading awareness and knowledge about our planet's biodiversity and environmental challenges. As the president of Environment Conservation Group and a Swachh Bharat ambassador, he has spearheaded numerous initiatives aimed at preserving and protecting ecosystems. As a member of the prestigious International Union for Conservation of Nature and a wildlife conservationist, Mr. Salim believes that education is a crucial weapon in the battle against threats to biodiversity. Over the span of more than 2 decades, Mr. Salim has been at the forefront of environmental activism, advocating for sustainable practices and policies that can mitigate threats to biodiversity. Mr. Salim's academic pursuits are equally impressive. Having earned a diploma in international law and governance from the United Nations Environmental Law and Conventions, his thirst for knowledge has led him to undertake courses at renowned institutions such as Harvard University, MIT, and SDG Academy. Notably, Mr. Salim's wildlife conservation endeavors have yielded tangible results, including the rescue of endangered species and the dismantling of traps into the harmful wildlife. His extensive expeditions spanning all 28 states of India have been instrumental in raising awareness and gathering support for conservation efforts nationwide. In addition to his hands-on involvement in conservation work, Mr. Salim actively contributes to various education institutions and serves as Vice President of Save Coimbatore Wetlands, a coalition of NGOs dedicated to preserving wetland ecosystems. Sir's conservation efforts as keen birder and campaigns for elephants and tigers have won him several awards. Sir is being named by Sanctuary Asia, India's most popular wildlife and conservation magazine, as one of the top 10 magnificent tiger defenders of India. Times of India called him nature's bodyguard, while Deccan Chronicle referred to him as Jumbo Man of the Jungle, and the Hindu recognized him as the Good Earth. Please join me in extending a heartfelt thanks to Sir for accepting our invitation. As a token of gratitude, we welcome our principal to felicitate and honor our chief guest with a memento. Thank you, sir. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Biodiversity starts in the distant past and turns towards the future. By Franz Lanting. Now let us delve deeper into the realm of knowledge by our distinguished speaker, Mr. Mohammad Salim. I'm sure his talk promises to be the beacon of wisdom in our quest for environmental stewardship. Without further ado, we welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Bhuneshwari, for the kind introduction. Respected Principal Dr. Prakasam, Radhika Ma'am, Dr. Radhika Ma'am, esteemed faculty, head of the departments, deans, and my dear friends. It's indeed a great pleasure to be here in this prestigious institution, talking about something very critical, sustainable practices. And it's very important for you, because the most affected by this are going to be you, the youths. But unfortunately, you are the ones who have contributed the least towards this. But you are going to be the most affected. So therefore, you need to take a lot of priority in understanding the climate change and the climate actions that we need to take. So let's dwell into our presentation. Next slide, please. Yeah, thank you. So a short overview. So we will be looking into the resilience and sustainability. So what is resilience and what is sustainability? What are the current challenges that we face in India? Tools and framework that are a blueprint to help us understand and mitigate and adapt to the climate change. Then call to action. What as youngsters you can do to turn this. And obviously the last will be questions and discussions. So what is resilience? So resilience is to get back to form after some like adversity or shocks. Like Rajinikanth says, vandutten sollu, thirumbi vandutten sollu. That thirumbi varradha is resilience. You will have to come back to your form. So that, but he is coming after 25 years. 25 வருஷத்துக்கு அப்புறம் திரும்பி வந்துட்டேன்னு சொல்லுங்க. But that is too long. Resilience is coming within the shortest span. So what do we need to be resilient? We are facing a lot of these adversities and shocks. And shocks, we had a great shock. High voltage, COVID-19. We are still trying to get back to form. At least in India, we are lucky. But our neighboring countries like Sri Lanka, Nepal, they are still under the shock. They can't get back to form after COVID-19. So these shocks can happen and will happen at a greater frequency. Why? Because of climate change. And when we talk about COVID-19, it is a zoonotic disease. So it is dependent on climate change, it is dependent on biodiversity loss. So we'll get back into it in detail. And sustainability. Sustainability is how we can use little so that the future generation can also make use of the same resource. Okay, so I have a wonderful doll there, wobbly. You would have seen that. So anytime you push it, you try to push it down, no, it will come back to form, it will stand on its feet. So that is resilience. And this, we all have seen, is very common in common areas, in public areas, you have this tap. So previously we had the screw type, where we used to, I remember when I was a student in our school, we had so many taps. So during interval, we'll rush, we'll just play around, and when the bell rings, we'll want to drink water. Then we'll have to climb 2 floors up to our classroom. So we don't have time to close the tap. We'll just go like that, and all the water will drain down. But fortunately, we have this system, because then later on, our school they modified, and now we have this tap. Now everywhere it's so common. So this saves a lot of water, a very valuable resource. So this is the main thing that we are going to see: resilience and sustainability. So what are the challenges? So I've just mentioned 4. We have lots of challenges. So major challenges: air pollution, water scarcity, biodiversity loss, and waste management. So going to air pollution, can we all take a deep breath? Isn't it energizing? See, our air is such a magic. I mean, without that we can't live, even for few seconds. And that concoction, that mixture of gases is very, very important. There are so many planets, we know, but nothing can have human or any other life form for that matter. Why? Because of this magical concoction of gases, the mixture. We have oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, everything, and in equal proportion. One small change here and there, the whole planet will go berserk. Okay, so that is how important our air is. And this air pollution is very, very important because it affects the whole planet, not just our health. Yes, our health is totally dependent on air pollution. So every time we breathe, we are taking a little bit of pollution also into our body. So our health is affected, our planet is affected. We have a lot of greenhouse gases being emitted by anthropogenic beings, that is by human beings. We are creating so many greenhouse gases. So we'll go into what are the greenhouse gases, and then obviously it will affect the biodiversity. So this change in atmospheric content, the carbon dioxide is increasing from around 218 parts per million, now it has reached around 423 parts per million. And that is having an effect. And as I said, we all know about greenhouse gases, so they trap a lot of heat and therefore they are warming. And as I said, there are other planets. Mercury is much closer to the sun, but it's still cooler than Venus, which is farther away from the sun. Why? Because Mercury doesn't have atmosphere. So when it is hot, when it is day, it is 480 degrees centigrade. Whereas in the night, it's minus 180 degrees. So look at both the temperatures we can't stand. The extremes. If you take Venus, it's again 480 degrees, very hot. Why? It's full of carbon dioxide. So that is the problem. So our planet, we are blessed with such a beautiful mixture of water, plants, land, and gas. Okay, but unfortunately, we are polluting it. And the major pollutants that is causing this havoc is carbon dioxide. So why are we more concerned about carbon dioxide? Because of its life. Our Tata would have smoked some BD. That carbon dioxide is still lingering in our, he would have gone back, long back. He would have died. But still the smoke is there in the atmosphere. Our party would have cooked something. That smoke is still there, party boys. But that smoke is still there. Because it is there in the atmosphere for nearly 1,000 years. So from 300, they say it has a lifespan of 300 to 1,000 years in the atmosphere. So that is why we are more concerned. So even if we stop now, like in COVID, we stopped everything. All the ports were closed, institutions, everything was closed. So let's say, for example, immediately we are closing down all the industries. No, we have reached the tipping point, so no more excuses, let's stop everything. But still, you won't feel the effect for many more years because it's still there. last decade, last century, all those carbon dioxide are still in the atmosphere and they're still creating this warming effect. So we need to sequester this. We need to absorb all this carbon dioxide from the atmosphere to cool it down. Okay, so that is why we are more concerned about carbon dioxide. One, because of the volume, and two, because of the life that it has. Methane, it's also a greenhouse gas. But the life is just 12 years. So if we stop methane production, by 12 years, yes, it will cool down the planet. So we can see the effect in our lifetime, not for carbon dioxide. Then we have water vapor, and we have other nitrous oxide and so many other greenhouse gases. So what causing all this is industries. We have lot of polluting industries. And that is a major concern. We need industries, but then we need certain standards to follow. We have to reduce the pollution. Okay, then vehicles. Yes, now thankfully we are switching over to electrical vehicles. And agriculture. So North India, every winter we have the problem during Diwali, when they're burning all the stuff from sugarcane fields and rice fields and paddy fields and the wheat, whatever they have, they burn it because they want the next crop. And that creates pollution. So agriculture, vehicle industries, even residents are cooking. India is the largest consumer of firewoods in the world. So we are using lot of organic material to burn as fuel. So that we'll have to switch over to cooking gas. Okay, so all these are contributing to air pollution, and that air pollution is killing more than 7 million people per year. Every year, 7 million people are dying just because of air pollution. That is in the world. In India alone, around 2 million people are dying because of air pollution. So we are the worst affected, worst polluted. We have some of the major cities. Out of 20 cities, 13 cities, the worst polluted, air polluted cities are from India. So that is how bad our situation is. So we'll have to set that right. Then we are coming to water management. So after air, water is important. India is a water stress country. Why do you call it water stress? Because of the volume of water per capita. We are having around 1,500 cubic meters of water per capita, per person, per year. But now it's coming down. When it comes below 1,000 cubic meters, then it becomes a water deficient country, and we are fast approaching that. And particularly in South India, we are becoming the deficit level. So we are losing our water sources. Why? Because most of the water is used for agriculture, most of the fresh water, and we don't have sustainable practices. And even the previous slide, you would have seen this picture there, the graph of our exports. So what is this doing here? That's because we are exporting more water. We call that virtual trade, or virtual water. So if you look at our exports, cereals, 52%, rice, we are the largest exporter of rice, wheat, sugarcane, cotton. All these are water intensive crop. They need a lot of water. And then next comes animal product. Obviously it's beef. Very diplomatically it's put animal products. We are not exporting horns or skin or hide. Yes, we do. But beef is being exported. And for every kilo of beef that we export, it requires 5,000 liters of water to produce 1 kilo of beef. And for every kilo of rice that we export, it requires at least 2,000 liters of water. So just imagine the volume of water we are exporting. It is nowhere mentioned here. We are exporting millions of cubic liters of water, nowhere. Or not millions, it will be billions. So much of water we are exporting, but they are all hidden in the cereals and animal products and other processed food like sugarcane, sugar. So these are all hidden inside. So we are, even here if you see, this is the previous slide. What are we exporting? Engineering goods, gems and jewelry, petroleum products, organic chemicals, drugs, ready-made, cotton yarn. So these are the major exports. And in industry, you have certain categories. You have red, You have orange, green, and white. And most of these industries are all red. They are the red category. Engineering goods, textiles, petroleum products. They're the most polluting industries, and that is what we are exporting, except for gems and jewelry, because most of the diamonds and golds are being imported in the raw form, and then we are processing and polishing and whatever, and then we are exporting. So luckily for gems and jewelry, yes, we are in a much better picture there. But the rest of the industries are polluting industries. So we are polluting our country to send it to some other country and earn the money in dollars. So it's a kind of suicide. We are killing ourselves. Whereas we can do other things. Other sectors there. So many other, tourism is there, or they are coming into service sectors. Okay, so if you take that, then that will be less polluting and more profitable. And that is what the smart countries are doing. So not that they don't have rice or they don't have beef. They don't want to export. They don't want to export their water. They want to save, they want to conserve the water, whereas we are draining all the underground water, harvesting, and then exporting it abroad. Okay, so sustainable agriculture practices, yes, it's very important. We have the right method, the right season, the right variety of seeds that we need. And instead of grass or cereals, we need to go into tree, the permaculture. That is good for the planet, and it's good for the health, it's good for everybody. So you can go for nuts, cashew nut, betel nut. Cashew nut requires relatively less water. You can't eat it every day, obviously, but you can export. I'm talking of in the terms of export. So you have cashew there, 2%. That's much better than the cereals, which require a lot of water. Okay, so other fruits and vegetables, yes. Again, fruits, jackfruit, a mango, those are good. They are trees, so they are absorbing the carbon. At the same time giving us profit through fruits. Government policies. Yes, we have wonderful government policies. Some are implemented, some are not much. So, but we need further. We have free electricity for the farmers. It's good for the farmers, but not very good for the environment. Because most of the time they just open up the pump and it floods the field instead of drip irrigation. Okay, so various methods that can be followed that will save the water. Because as I said, Tamil Nadu, this year we will face. This year is going to be a very dry year in more than a century. Because so hot, and if it doesn't rain now, then we are going to have a tough time. Then we are coming to biodiversity loss. This is of great concern. India is one of the mega diverse countries. We have 17 mega diverse countries. So what is a mega diverse country? It's a country which has a lot of biodiversity. So there's just 17 countries in the world, and India is one of the mega diverse countries. We have more than 8% of the world's wildlife population. But by land, if you take the land area, we're just 2.5%. So in this 2.5% of the land area, we have 18% of human population. Most populous country in the world. And we also have more than 30% of the cattle of the world. So just imagine, 2.5%, it has to sink in. Just 2.5%, 18% human population, 33% of cattle population. We have just 4% of the world's freshwater resource. So just imagine, it's a miracle we are still living here. Okay, so all this, and still we have good wildlife, very good biodiversity. But unfortunately, we have obviously helped the tiger bounce back. So the tiger population has come up, good. But rest, the great Indian bustard. It was once found in places in Coimbatore, more than 100 years back. Now less than 200 birds are there in the wild. It's nearly becoming extinct, the great Indian bustard. So there are so many other life forms that are becoming endangered and towards extinction. And the main reason is habitat loss. they are losing the habitat. For example, if you take the case of the great Indian bustard, they need grasslands. Places like this or beyond, Tirupur, Palladam, they're all wonderful grasslands. But usually when we see grassland, we think them as wastelands. ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல, ஒரு மரம் வேற இல்ல, அந்த பூமியில என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? So that is how. And there we want to bring some kind of irrigation, either to canal or borewell, and then we try to do agriculture. Yes, it's good for humanity, but then unfortunately you are killing the great Indian bustard, their habitat. They want grassland, they don't want sugarcane field or some other paddy field or anything else. So we are killing them, and therefore from thousands in number, they are less than around 200 great Indian bustard. Similarly, the vultures, they are also now 95% of the vultures are gone. They died because of chemical diclofenac. We have used diclofenac, painkiller for the cattle. Then when the cattle dies, we just dispose the carcass, and these vultures used to feed on that. So they are as plenty as we have crows now, but unfortunately now you can't find a vulture. Why? Because they ate those carcass and they were impacted by the diclofenac in the dead cattle, and therefore slowly that population also is gone. So we have very little vultures. So I can go on. Lot of animals we are losing because of habitat loss. Then invasive species. You can see our wetlands. You can see that green plant, water hyacinth, agaya tamara. They are not our native species. So they are all invasive species. Lantana camera, again another plant, ornamental plant. Okay, Parthenium, you can go on. And we need more natural infrastructure. That is what we are coming to the topic. Natural infrastructure is for the resilience. The more natural infrastructure you have, the more resilient the country is. The less natural infrastructure you have, the less resilient you are going to be. You need more trees. Why? It can cool down. It can stop soil erosion. Mangroves, they play a major part. Unfortunately, in India, we are losing our mangroves. They are very good in saving our coastal system, because now recently, just yesterday, there's a news that in Antarctica, nearly 785,000 square kilometer of ice sheet has disappeared over the past 3 years. It's a size of Turkey. Turkey Koliyalla. The Turkey, the new name for Turkey, Turkey. The size of that country, Turkey. That big mass of land is gone. It's disappeared past 3 years. And it should be of great concern to all of us sitting here, particularly you. So tomorrow you are going to be more affected by this climate change. You have more life to live, more life to enjoy. But if this is going to be the case, you can't get out of the room. It will be so hot. You won't have good water to drink. You won't have clean air to breathe. So immediate action has to be taken. I mean, people like me have been crying for years, for decades in fact. Please do something. But it's all falling on deaf ears. What are we to do? We can't do more than that. Okay, so please, when it comes to call to action, I'll talk more about it. So natural infrastructures, we need mangroves, we need wetlands. See, all our wetlands in Coimbatore, we are gifted with beautiful wetlands. Now they are part of the smart city, the smart lakes. They weren't created by us. It was created by our ancestors, the kings, the Cholas. So they had that site. They wanted wetlands. And therefore they have created like a necklace. So one wetland fills, then it will overflow, it will fill the next lake, and so on. The Noyal River basin. So wonderfully they have constructed. It's man-made, it's not natural. So that is the importance, that is the priority our ancestors have given for wetlands. What are we doing? Whatever they have built, we are reclaiming, we are filling it up with debris and then putting Lakeview apartment. What a shame. And then when it rains, we say, oh my God, corporation is not good, the state is not good, the country is not good, our city is flooded. Where have you built your house? Inside a lake. And then you are blaming the government. We are to blame. So we need more natural infrastructures. We need mangroves, we need lakes, we need mountains. We need grasslands, forests. The more they are, the better we are. Because our tradition is also based on Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani. Our medicines have always been dependent on our forest. But unfortunately, yes, we have lost that knowledge. We are suffering for that. Okay, so we need more natural infrastructures. I think natural infrastructure will have a slide later on. Then waste management. Oh my God, this is a great concern. We all know everyday wasting, at least in the city, it's out of sight. But once you're out of the city, everywhere around the roadside you see plastic bags that are banned. You still see them today. No enforcement. I'm part of the Swachh Bharat, like Madam mentioned, I'm a Swachh Bharat ambassador, so I get the feedback, everyday feedback, what is happening in the corporation. They are, yes, they are giving penalty to all the traders. But even today we find plastic bags. So it looks like an eye wash. One side they are finding the traders who are having plastic bags. Other side, yes, the trade is going on. The manufacturing is going on. And it's polluting our environment. So first we should know to segregate our waste. First we'll have to consume less. That is the major ill of our time. We are consuming more than we require, more than we need. So we'll have to reduce the consumption. Let's consume what is local. That will help your pocket as well as the population, the local population and the planet. Okay, so that is very important. So buy local, buy organic, and try to segregate the waste before you give. Because corporation now they are a bit stringent on that, but even otherwise we'll have to see that we segregate the waste and try to recycle and reuse whatever is possible. Okay, because you may think it's out of fashion. No, please try to reuse them wherever it's possible. And lack of efficient storing and treatment facility, that is what is happening. For corporation, at least they have some compost yard and other things, so they're trying to utilize the organic waste. They have biogas farm, vermicompost. Okay, so all that. But outside the corporation, they don't have so much of money. So they just leave it, they try to burn it in the night or early morning. And then it causes, again, pollution, global warming. And 20% of the methane is coming from the waste. So waste in sense, not these inorganic waste, the organic waste, the food waste. Nearly 30% of the food produced is going for waste. Just imagine, 30%. Such a huge number. So 30% of all the food that we produce is going waste. Just imagine the water, the energy, the hard work the farmer puts in. But ultimately it goes into the kupatoti. So unfortunate. And when it goes into the garbage or the dump yard, then it will decompose. When it decomposes, this is what happens. It emits methane. And it's a very potent greenhouse gas. Much more than carbon dioxide. But as I said, the life is short. So few years, that methane will disappear. But yet, it has its impact on our environment. So 20% of the methane is coming just because of the garbage. Now we are coming to tools and frameworks. So now previously we have seen all the issues, the problems that we have, air pollution, water, biodiversity loss. So what can be done? So we have some wonderful framework. The Sustainable Development Goals, nature-based solution, circular economy, it can go on. The Sustainable Development Goal is very, very important. One of the best thing, in my opinion, one of the best that we have come across, our planet has come across. But it is not given the importance that it needs to be given. This is it. You have 17 goals. These numbers are, each one is a goal. And it is based on the success of Millennium Development Goal that we had in the year 2000. So Millennium Development Goal was framed or made by the developed countries, the Western countries, but had to be implemented by the developing countries. So they will dictate the terms. They will obviously give the money, they'll fund, and they'll dictate the terms. Oh, you do this, you don't do that. And yes, it was very successful. It was so successful that everybody thought we need to copy that. We need to upscale it. And therefore, now we have the Sustainable Development Goal. From 2015, the target is 2030. So we have reached the midway mark. Now in the midway of Sustainable Development Goals target. And what are these targets? The first one is no poverty. We were doing good. The Sustainable Development Goal targets were going fine. Countries were contributing, society, the civil society, individuals, institutions, everybody were very much involved. Until we got the big shock, the high voltage shock, COVID-19. Everything collapsed. We all know what happened. Schools were closed. Everything was closed, not just schools. Everything was closed. And therefore, again, poverty started to raise its head. Hunger. Yes, we know how many people died of hunger. Obviously, these two are related to good health. So COVID has come, no good health. Education, schools were closed. So everything was affected by COVID-19. And now only 15% of the target have been achieved. So the rest are all either you have to achieve or it's going down. So that is how bad the situation has become after COVID-19. But this is one of the best. We categorize countries based on GDP. Yes, you all know what GDP is. But I think we should be based on this index. All the countries should base on this index. We have an index, in fact. And unfortunately, India is going backwards, reverse. We should try to go forward. Last 3 years, we are coming down. Okay, so we'll have to improve on everything. And once you improve on this, everybody, the motto is leave no one behind. So nobody is going to be behind. Everybody will improve. Everybody will prosper. Everybody will be happy and healthy. So this is done not by the developed countries. This is done by all the 193 countries of the United Nations. So that's the best part. The civil society, the NGOs, they are all involved. The education institutions are involved. So everybody is involved in framing this. And it was, the best thing to happen is it was unanimously accepted. Yes, everybody said, fine, wonderful, we need this to go on. And now, nearly half the term is gone, we have half left. Okay, so we have time till 2030, and we need to improve on all the rankings. You have no poverty, hunger, good health, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work. So anything, everything fits into this. And to track this, you have around 169 targets. These are goals. For these goals, you have 169 targets. And to study or to monitor whether you are reaching the targets, you have indicators. You have around 247 indicators that help you in monitoring whether you have reached the target. Okay, so it's a very wonderful blueprint for a peaceful and prosper planet. Okay, so you should all be very much aware, and we'll all have to contribute. We all can contribute towards this. Now we are coming to nature-based solution. And this is what I said in the previous slide about natural infrastructure. These are going to be a natural infrastructure. The urban wetlands, the Valangalam, Periyakulam, so many columns we have. They're the urban wetlands. The coastal wetlands, forest, coral reefs, very, very important. Because of global warming, see, this is out of sight. The coral reefs are all underwater. So they are all out of sight. Therefore, we think, okay, they are fine. But unfortunately, the corals are all being bleached. Bleached in the sense, see, you can see those colors there, the orange, red, green. That is a live coral. But when they die, only the skeleton is left. And obviously, the skeletons are mostly white in color. And that is the white we see. So that's a dead coral. So that is what is happening. Because these oceans are absorbing the excess carbon from the atmosphere, carbon dioxide. And then the water becomes slightly acidic, and therefore these coral reefs are dying. They can't exist. Okay, so now slowly people, the scientists have understood that they are trying to reclaim those lands and then bring back the coral reefs. Sand dunes, again, 30% of India is facing desertification. Again, we are coming to the same number, 30% is a big number. And the desert is spreading from the tar, it's coming inward. And all that place will become desert if we don't take immediate action. One of the reason, cattle grazing. As I said, we have so much of cattle, we need to graze them. So they don't allow any plant to grow. They go chum chum chum, they eat all those whatever plants, grass. Then how will it grow? It becomes desert, no more plants. Okay, and therefore 30% of India is under the threat of desertification. Urban green space. Thankfully now we have a lot of green space. And thanks to our corporation, I'm part of it. We have a committee. Even I think 2 months back we had a workshop here at PhD Tech, that side. So we all came and then we put our brain and mind and then put some plan. And at least now it's in a good picture, we can do it much better. So urban green space is much required. Inland wetlands, rivers, mangroves. Again, they put mangroves last, but yes, because again for us it's too far. But mangroves are very important. People who are affected by tsunami, they know how important the mangroves are. Wherever there were mangroves, the impact of the tsunami was very less. The others were devastated. Now we'll go into this. Hope it plays. Will it play? No, previous one. Okay, it's a small video. I think we should have enabled it in the beginning. Anyway, okay, I'll jump to the next slide. We have time, ma'am? Yes, sir. We have time, okay. And this circular economy, again, today what economy we follow is linear economy. You mine, you make, you waste. So that is what is happening now. So you produce and then waste. But we need something circular, where the waste is less. That is what we call circular economy, where you use the raw materials, then sustainable design, then again it repeats. Very little waste comes out. So this is what we require. And now most of the big companies are coming, particularly the fashion industry, because that is one of the major polluters, the textile industries. Today they are all coming into recycling. Most of the sportswear are made out of recycled fiber. So they're trying to use, and even the fashion industries, the textiles, the jeans, they're all trying to reclaim. They're getting the old clothes. Because unlike, at least India, again, we are slowly copying the Western culture. So we don't use it for much. Whereas in US it's worse. So just for 2 or 3 days they discard. That's the life of a cloth. Whereas at least we use for 1 year. After Diwali varikku irukum. So at least 1 year we try to use, or even more. Whereas 1 year is too much for them. It's a lifetime for them. So very easily they discard their clothes. And that creates a lot of waste. And what they don't want to keep it in their country. They try to dump it in some underdeveloped country. It was coming to India, now we have banned all the plastics and textiles, but still few still somehow find way. But mostly it goes into Southeast Asia. Again, Southeast Asia, again, they have also started banning it. It's going to Africa now. Or worse still, they just take it into the ocean and dump it somewhere in the ocean where we can't see. So all this is happening. So it's leading to, contributing to a lot of pollution. But what we need to do is, we need to recycle. So most of the packaging materials, now if you take brands like HP or Dell, the packaging materials, it will be said made from 50% recycled material or 70% or 30%, something. But at least we are going in the right direction. Similarly, textiles, the clothes, it will be mentioned. So that's now become a fashion statement. That's very good. I'm proud of it. It has to become a trend. We'll have to show that yes, my cloth is 70% recycled material or even 100% or whatever we can do to promote recycling. Okay. And that is circular economy. Now is a major part. Now is what you can do, what people, we in this room can do. And being from the prestigious institutions, I think you have more power. You are more empowered. You have more knowledge. You have more technical know-how to try to mitigate climate action. So what all we can do? And one thing that I forgot to say in the previous slide, being biodiversity loss, is the importance of biodiversity is also biomimicry. Have you heard about biomimicry? No. Okay, biomimicry is copying nature. And that is a trend. At least for students like you should be aware what is biomimicry. There are so many things now we are trying to copy from nature because nature has evolved for millions of years. They have seen so many problems and they've also come up with solutions for all those problems. That is why all those are still alive or still present. Okay, so biomimicry is copying. One good thing I think you should all be aware, bullet train. The front edge of the bullet is copied from the Kingfisher. Okay, so I think you, how many of you are aware of this bullet train? Okay, I think I'll tell you in brief. So when the bullet train was, we all know bullet train is the fastest train. So in Japan, they designed the bullet train, and when they were running the bullet train, they were all happy. Romba speed up, very good, nalla irukku. But when it was passing through the tunnel, there was a big boom, a sonic boom. And then the people, the resident, the local resident, they started complaining, sir, romba satham varudhu sir, nammalalla irukka mudiyadhu. And then the scientists all, they sat together and they said, okay, we'll have to find some solution. And one scientist, the chief scientist, he was a good birder. So he saw this kingfisher diving into the water and then was able to catch the fish. Until the eyes are inside the water, there's no splash. So he thought, okay, that's good, very interesting. Why don't we copy this? And then he placed a cone in front of the train. The cone in the sense, shape of the kingfisher's beak. And then a trial run. Wow. There was no sound. It was actually meant for the sound. But then it increased the mileage. So the speed increased. Fuel efficiency also increased. So everything. So they were so happy. So where was it copied from? Kingfisher. So that is what we call biomimicry. Then you have so many other things like lotusan. Lotusan is a paint. So you'll have to keep painting very often. But lotus leaf, you see, though it is in some dirty water, the leaf is always nice and clean. One drop of water, it doesn't stick to it. It cleans up whatever is there, dirt, and then again it cleans up. So that is a paint called lotusan. So that paint, you don't have to repaint it. You have to just pour a bucket of water. It's a fresh coat of paint. It looks like a fresh coat of paint. It's so clean. Then you have the shark fin. Michael Phelps. He's winning the gold medal just because he has this suit made similar to the shark's skin. So he's able to improve his efficiency. So things can go on. Velcro. We all know about the Velcro. Again, that is copied from nature. You have helmets made out of woodpecker, the skull of the woodpecker. So you have seen the woodpecker striking the trees to get the worms. We go strike twice, we'll faint and fall down. But that fellow is striking so many times and he's able to get the worm that is inside the tree. Why? His skull is so shaped, designed. And therefore we have helmets now designed in the shape of the woodpecker's skull. So there are so many things that we can learn from nature, and that is a trend in scientific, in engineering, in architect. You have the East Gate in Zimbabwe. It's again modeled out of a termite mound. So they use less fuel to cool the building because it is designed like a termite mound. The termite mound is always constant temperature, 27 degrees centigrade, whether it's rain, shine, whatever. Because it's so designed, there are so many chimneys here and there, it will regulate the temperature and keep it at a constant temperature always inside the termite mound. Similarly, they designed this Westgate Mall that requires very little air conditioning. So it's all based on nature. It cools by itself and maintains a very cool temperature inside. So for architecture, for medicine, anything and everything, we have solution in nature. And therefore it is very important for students like you to know what is happening. You can observe nature. It will give you a lot of thought on what can be done, what new techniques can be used. For logistics, they are learning the ants, how the ants are able to get the shortest route and carry the heaviest load. So many things, I can go on. I need a whole day to talk about biomimicry. So you can just go into this, you can refer, you can go, today you have so many tools at your fingertips. Just go through and learn about that. And for that, you need these biodiversity to survive. Otherwise it will be too late. They will say there was a frog, that frog was like that frog had all these properties, but unfortunately that is extinct. No use talking about the frog now. So we will first have to stop the extinction, then learn how we can use for medicine, for cosmetics, for architecture, whatever. So the scope is unlimited. Support sustainable practices, as I said, whatever we can do, carry a metal water bottle wherever we go instead of buying a 20 or 30 rupee 1 liter bottle. It will take so many weeks to reach us, and within few minutes, it's gone. You discard it. It's become a waste. For just drinking 1 rupee worth of water, you're going to buy 30 rupee bottle of water. And all the 29 rupees waste in your money and waste on the planet. Okay, so try to use metal water containers wherever you go. Try to consume as less as possible with less packaging, because now packaging has become a trend. Actually, I had a slide, then I took it up because I thought the more slides. I just bought a wood apple from Big Basket. The wood apple is, it's like a cork ball, so strong. And that comes with a plastic box. I wrote to them, what is wrong with you all? This is already so well packaged by nature, and you want to package it, maybe in tomorrow they will pack coconut in a plastic box and send it. I think now they have stopped that. So it's become a fashion for them to package each and everything. Even the bananas. The banana is already packaged, wonderful. But then you have a plastic cover on that. Why do we require it? It's all waste. Again, they're not going to give you free of cost. They're going to put that charge on you. So you're going to pay for all the waste. So try to minimize all these packaging. Toothpaste, for example, all the toothpaste comes with a box. Who needs the box? It's already in a wonderful tube. And the moment you use a toothpaste, you're going to discard the box. So we have written so many times to these people, I don't know why, what is stopping them from not stopping this box. They don't require. There are so many creams that comes without a tube. Why can't they make a toothpaste without the box, just the tube alone? I don't know. So you'll have to write down. You'll have to write to these people, to the companies who are using all this excess packaging. Innovate and collaborate. That is what PhD is famous for. You need to innovate and you need to collaborate. Again, that is an important term. Conservation cannot be done in isolation. It needs collaboration. We all need to join hands. We have wonderful NGOs in Coimbatore. In India, we are one of the best cities where you have so many well active NGOs who put people first, not profit. We are a non-profit organization. So you can join them. You can contribute a lot. We all require help. All the NGOs are waiting for students like you. You have a lot to contribute through these civil societies. Empower others. Please take the message to others. So I'm bringing it to you. Please take it forward. At least 2 people, if everyone takes it across, that will be a big success. We are reaching out to others. Sustainable lifestyle. How we can be resilient. Because we are going through tough time. Please mark my word. We are going to very tough time. We are not aware of how worse the time is going to be. Now COVID, then we have the war in Ukraine, Now we have the genocide in Israel. Things will get worse. Things will get worse. Mark my word. So you need to be prepared. We need to adapt. Our previous lifestyle is all dream. We need to change. And we need to change for the better. Otherwise, things will get worse. So with those few words, thank you all. I think we'll have the question and answer session.
Thank you, sir. Your words left a lasting impression on all of us present here today. In the spirit of collaboration and inquiry, we now invite our participants to engage in a stimulating discussion and Q&A session. The floor is open for discussion.
Anyone with any queries?
Good morning, sir. So this is Ratika. I'm from MBA department. So my question is, you told a lot about sustainable development, but how do you think economic growth will also go hand in hand? I don't think both goes hand in hand. If I'm very concerned about the environment, I have to put a back step on my economic growth, my profits.
Okay, Radhika, if I'm right, Radhika, right?
Ratika. Ratika.
Ratika. Okay. So if I get you right, you're asking they can't go hand in hand, economy and environment. Is it so?
Yes, so the financial economy, my profits, if I, you said about the exports, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm going to stop my exports, then obviously the country is going to face inflations.
Good, very good question. See, we are not asking you to stop the export. We are asking you to think out of the box. Why should we go for things that cannot be, see, whatever engineering products that we said we are exporting can also be done in other countries. But since they are major polluting industries, they are purposefully sending it to India or getting it from India. It's not that they can't do it. They have better facilities. But the problem is, it pollutes so much that they don't want to pollute their country. They don't want to use their natural resources. See, this is what, now see what India has done. We have banned non-basmati rice. Wonderful step, because it consumes so much of water. So why have we done that? Because now we know more water is going out and we need to feed our people. So our country first. Okay, so economy and environment can go hand. That is what is called sustainable development. When these go hand in hand. We are not against development. We are not against economy. Yes, we all need. But again, as I said, it's sustainable. The term sustainable is very important. So how can we grow with nature? And the scope is endless. See, there are so many countries. If you take, now the happiness index has come out. So if you take the happiness index, it's all the East European countries, like Norway, Finland, Denmark. These are the countries who are number one in this happiness index. And you take those countries for any index for that matter, they are all leading. And look at the exports. Again, it's electronic, it's more service oriented. Okay, so you can become number one in the country without exporting a petroleum refinery. We don't have petrol. We are importing all the petroleum products, refining it here and sending. So then we'll have to think, we'll have to pause. Why do you want to
Even if we are going to think about the sustainability, there's always the skill gap, right, sir?
Pardon?
We have the skill gap. I cannot practice sustainability without expert. And I don't think we have a lot of people who are very experted in sustainability at this age. Like, we don't have it in the curriculum, right?
You say we don't have the expertise.
The skill gap, sir.
Yeah, skill gap is always there, but we have reached this. We have reached here. See, you see the major CEOs of the corporates, Satya Nadella, Indra Noori, Google, Pichai, Sundar Pichai. So where are they from? The childhood was from India. So we don't lack anything. We lack confidence. So we don't lack. Who are all the heads of the state? Kamala Harris, US, Sunak, UK, Mauritius. So many head of the states, so many countries. They're all with Indian background. So I don't think we lack anything. I think only thing we lack is confidence. We need confidence. We need self-respect. We have everything. Only thing, we were sustainable. We were sustainable. Only now we are trying to follow the Western culture. See, Western culture is, they are hypocrites. And now the hypocrisy has come to the fore with the Israeli genocide. We know they talk about human rights. When it comes to Ukraine, they are on one side. When it comes to Israel, they are on the other side. When it comes to immigrants, again, they are on the other side. See, we are under the wrong impression that Western culture is the good culture. No. And now it's coming to the fore. Now, all, not just Indians, everywhere, all globally, we are recognizing that Western culture is not the right culture. Okay, so unfortunately, we have come under that culture for quite some time. We need to shed that. We need to make like India Vikas. We need to make India great again. And it is possible. We are great. Only thing, yes, we all need to collaborate and then do it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Over to the next question, please.
Good morning, sir. My name is Mehul. You had spoken about toothpaste, the bottles and the boxes they come in. It's right, sir. Toothpaste boxes, they are not needed. But then you said that the toothpaste tubes are already visually great. So from that fact, can I take it that you say that when things are visually great, people tend to buy them more?
No, I'm not more into the visual part. I think the package is good. So you don't have to require a cardboard. Whatever is written on the box is already written on the tube. So why, my question is, why do we need a cardboard box or a box on top of the paste? That is just contributing to the waste. So there's nothing important.
So, but then that same tube which you said is made of plastic laminate. I'm pretty sure cardboard is more safer. Yes, we may be sacrificing something, but cardboard is more safer than plastic laminate. And also when you say for visual things, we all know that Nambudri paste and those like powder, that is way more efficient and natural than these paste. But people don't buy them. Why is that? Because when they put it in those boxes, they are not visually stunning. They do not capture the audience. So could you say that is a problem within us, or is it like whatever the industry is trying to do?
No, that is exactly what I said. See, our mindset is Western. We are more into TV. We are more into advertisement. So we are trying to buy what we watch on TV or internet or on movies, the advertisement. So that is grasping. And today the technology is so improved. They know the weak point of human brains, the psychology of human. So that is what they are trying to manipulate our buying power. So as you said, Nambudri, yes, that wonderful toothpaste. And it came in the powder form. How many of us do you think will use our finger toothpaste? No. Because we think, oh, no, this is so out of fashion, old model. We want a paste or a brush. And now it's come with motor also. I don't know why do you need a motor in the brush. So you have electric brush and then keep. I don't know. See, that is how we are moving. It's a waste of money. Why can't we early morning one small exercise? I don't know. See, that is how it's moving.
But one more follow-up, sir.
Yeah, please.
But when you see in Dubai and all, not in India, but when you see in foreign countries, this motor brush has more sales than the normal brush, which is contributing to the economy. So if people now buy normal brush more compared to the electric brush, wouldn't it reduce the economy? So, but then we'll be prioritizing the economy more than like nature. It has to be self-balanced. We cannot let one go for the other.
Right. See, there is a limit to economy. Now, ganja is legalized in US, right? You can very well you can say, see, it's legalized there. We are planting here. It's a native crop of India. Why not grow ganja? It will boost our economy. Like Taskmark, some ganja mark, one shop there, and the state government, the central government can get the money. Plenty. We'll all rush to the shop. Okay, so economy, yes, it is important, but see, there should be some ethics. That is what I'm talking. Economy is important, but anything you can sell. Okay, so even a pickpocket will talk about economy. Sir, my money, my family, so I need to survive, I need to pickpocket. Or whoever. Okay, so we need some morals, we need some ethics. Brush, yes, if you want, some people who are very old, who can't brush, maybe they can use that motorized brush, electric brush. But as you said in Dubai, if it's a trend, but then the trend is what they're watching. So it is our perspective. Whatever we talk, whatever I know, I can speak. What I haven't seen, I can't speak. So when we see so many things on TV, on advertisement, movie, whatever, through social media, WhatsApp today, that is the number one. So this influences us. So we'll have to think twice before buying anything. What is the life? And again, that is very important. What is the life of any product that you buy? Please try to extend it as much as possible, as much as possible. Don't care what others says. And today, luckily, even the torn pants are a fashion. So you don't have to even care about if your pant or skirt is torn. It's become part of your trend. But you are buying a new torn pant or shirt. That is what makes me sad. But you can't use the old one which is small hole. Okay.
The next question.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thanks for such an insightful talk which made us connect with the nature again. I have two questions. First, when you were talking about sustainable packaging and how you had a bad experience with Big Basket, and how do you think this sustainable packaging will affect the product protection or the shelf life of the product?
Product protection.
Yeah, and the shelf life of the product.
Yeah, like I said, the wood apple, I don't think putting it in a plastic box is going to enhance its shelf life. I don't think so. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's, I don't know, but to be honest, I don't know. But I don't think, because so many years, for centuries, we have been eating that billion fruit. Okay, so it has a good shelf life. It's like saying coconut will have a bad shelf life if you don't keep it in a plastic. Maybe 1 or 2 days, but we have been using it for centuries. Okay, so see, these things we'll have to give a thought. Some, yes, maybe some fruits need some, like you said, it might be imported. So it needs some extra packaging. But what I suggest, or what I appeal to you all is, please try to avoid. Yes, I might like to have a kiwi fruit. Somebody says, sir, a kiwi fruit சாப்பிட்டிருக்கீங்களா? Maybe I'll feel bad, இல்லன்னு சொல்றதுக்கு. One day I can eat. சாப்பிட்டு பார்த்தப்ப நல்லா இருக்கு. Somebody said, noni. There's a fruit called noni. And then I went to a farm, they said, noni fruit. Oh, wonderful, noni fruit. I took it from there. They gave me, sir, vechikkonga. And he gave me so much. I was wondering, என்னடா this, because it is anti-cancer, that there's so many things they were telling about the noni fruit. I brought it home. My God, I had good shout from my wife. ஏங்க வேற என்னமோ கிடைக்கலையே, இதுதான் பிடிச்சிட்டு வந்ததா? What happened? My God, it smells so bad. It tastes so horrible. But there's so much of hype on that noni fruit. See, certain things are like that. So we go by the hype. So once in my life, I'll never touch that. So if somebody asks, சாப்பிட்டுருக்கேன்ப்பா, இனிமேல் சாப்பிட மாட்டேன். So maybe once you can try some fruit, some exotic fruit, but then try to have a local food, our local crop, our local fruits. We have so many varieties, and now we are trying to cultivate. Kerala, my God, any exotic fruit you can get it there. So many fruits they are harvesting there. Dragon fruit, there's so many. So once in a while, but try to consume more of local products, so that the local economy also will be benefited. Health-wise also it's good. For the planet also, it's greener.
And I have another question.
Yeah.
As a student, engineering student who is interested in the development and design of sustainable packaging, what are the trends which we should look out for or we should keep in our mind before trying to pursue a career in sustainable packaging or logistics?
Good. I'm so happy that you have that thought. See, first is the thought. The thought has to come. How can I improve? And as I said, biomimicry is one very good concept. Try to learn from nature. Try to learn from the coconut or the wood apple or the banana or the orange. Look at their packaging. See what has more life, shelf life. So what contributes to its shelf life? So that we can learn. We need to innovate. And India, you have such a great potential. We have lot of biodiversity. You have lot of skills and knowledge. You have lot of good teachers who can help you, mentors. So all the combination is available. Only thing is we need to have that mindset. Yes, like you said, how can I have a sustainable package? So what are you going to package? So if it's a cloth, it will be different type of packaging. If it's a liquid, it's going to be different type of packaging. If it's solid, so every different item needs a different type of packaging. So accordingly, we'll have to think, okay, what nature has such a material and how is it being packaged in nature? What is the shelf life? How can I improve with less ingredients? We need to have some preservatives. So how much minimum can I use? So all this has to be studied and you can be successful.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for your wonderful talk. So I have two questions. First of all, we have many international conferences around the world that are held on a yearly basis to discuss the same conservation policies again and again. And we have many different ramifications. We have many different discussions each year on the developing goals that we need to focus on. So we set certain goals like we need to reduce carbon emissions by this percentage by this year. And we do follow, some countries do take serious steps, but we need a collective effort in order to reduce the total emissions of the whole globe. So what is your view on that? And secondly, are these conferences really doing enough to what we need to do in order to reduce the global warming? And are they, in your view, what are the changes that need to be done in these policies that are being framed by these conferences?
Good, good. See, I was invited for the COP28 in Dubai. So I went there, spent a few days there. I was so happy to see so many youngsters there, very actively involved. But unfortunately, very few youngsters from India. But from other countries, there are so many, even from countries, African countries, lot of youngsters were taking part in those conferences. So one, maybe it's a lack of awareness. I don't know, it's lack of financial funding or whatever. But what I recognize from that surrounding is there were so many youngsters, but few from India and lot from many other countries. Okay. So what was your question? Yeah, are these conferencing achieving? See, again, as I said, Dubai, there was a lot of criticism because they are the major polluters. Polluters in the sense that is the only resource they have there, natural gas, petroleum. So they are talking about sustainability. It's like saying the devil is reading the Veda. So they are polluting and then they are talking about sustainability. But the function was great. They organized it well, everything. But again, they are a country, they have to do that. But as I said, it is a collaborative effort and it is for youngsters like you all. You will have to raise the voice. Otherwise, no government is bothered about environment. Like most of you said, we are all talking about economy. Yes, economy is the priority for all of us. But then what are you going to do with all the money that you have if you can't go out and breathe fresh air? What are you going to do with all the money you have if you can't get a cup of clean water? All your money is waste. What did we do for COVID? America calls itself a superpower. And most number of deaths due to COVID is in US. So your money doesn't matter. When an adversity strikes, when a shock comes, it's not the money that gives you, yes, it can help you, but there are other aspects, parameters that we need to know and be prepared to fight against climate change. Otherwise, America should have the least number of people dead due to COVID. They are number one in terms of healthcare or technology, at least in medical techniques. So many things we think America is number one. But unfortunately, in the death, it was number one. So it's not money alone that matters. At least in the future, in the coming days, as I said, we had to be prepared. Okay, and please, it's all of you, you youngsters, as I said in the starting of my talk, the people who are most impacted are youngsters. And the least contributed, because you haven't contributed much, you're just going to start your industry or whatever. So you still haven't started polluting much, but you are the most impacted. So you should be more concerned about our environment, about our climate. Okay.
Next question, please.
Good morning, sir. This is regarding Sustainable Development Goal and Inclusive Growth. So you have mentioned that around 169 are framed to achieve these 17 goals. So apart from COVID,
no, 1 minute. So can you please repeat the question?
Okay, sir. So you have mentioned that government have framed 169 targets to achieve 17 goals, SDG goals. So apart from the COVID, what is preventing from us in achieving these goals? As you told, only 15% have been achieved for the past 10 years and only remaining 5 years are there. So since SDGs are long-term goals, but it is very ambitious for to achieve within 15 years, but still we can go as we are, our country now we are facing rapid growth and SDGs, achieving SDGs is very mandatory. And what is your point of take?
Good. Yeah, what is stopping us from achieving the goals? One, as I said, we had this shock of COVID-19. So that gave us a big shock. So all our targets, all the goals, they were all down. Now we are trying to revive. But then the government policies, unfortunately, our union government is not concerned about the environment. They have tried to dilute most of the environmental laws. They have done it. The Forest Law, the Conservation Act. So whatever is there, they have tried to dilute it for the sake of development. So we are opening up mining fields. So we need development. Yes, we need electricity, not just in India. If you take Germany, if you take Europe, they were all talking about renewable energy. They wanted to switch off all the coal and nuclear power plants. But because of the Ukrainian war, they are feeling the pinch. The practical problem is that they can't import, they don't want to import gas from Russia. And therefore they are trying to open up the thermal plants, the nuclear plants, and then all those polluting systems are slowly being revived. Why? Because now they are feeling the pinch. They don't want to buy from Russia. It's not that Russia is not going to give them. Russia is ready, but they want sanctions. They want to stop Russia from exporting. And therefore they have no other options but to open up the thermal plants. So this is what is happening. So everywhere it is happening. It's war, it's COVID, it's various reasons, either local or global. So these are all contributing to us things. So most of the government, they're concerned about development. They want to show in terms of GDP. See, if you take any politician, whether it's state or center, their talk will be, if we are going to achieve so many trillion, this is going to be our GDP, or this is going to be our economy. This trillion economy, 5 trillion economy, here 2 trillion economy. So they're all talking in terms of GDP. So they're not talking in terms of happiness or health factor or education factor. Though it is there in their mandate, but the priority is always least. They're always talking about economy first. So that perspective slowly will have to change. Economy is important, again and again I repeat, economy is important, but not at the cost of the environment. That is what I want to say. The message is, economy is important, but not at the cost of the environment. Because again, tomorrow you can earn, but once you lose your Great Indian Bustards, it's done. You can't get it back. You can't get the dodos back. You can't get the passenger pigeons back. They're all extinct. You can't get it. So economy, you can make money, but you can't bring back dead birds or animals.
Yes, sir, but not to forget that ministry from Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, as well as from Ministry of Environment, they are concerned about it and also framed several policies recently launched biofuel policy as well as on solar island alliance, etc. But the thing is that achieving these targets are ambitious, and we also said the ambitious target with stipulated very less timeline. But what I'm thinking is it's a problem between the state and the center coordination or between the several cabinets and the ministries. So that is, I think, preventing from achieving these SDGs within the short time. So that is my take, and I all agree with your take, sir.
No, again, we'll have to promote, like you said, renewable energy. Yes, India is good, doing good in terms of renewable energy. We are coming up with solar panels, wind energy. We are making up even higher versions of windmills towards the coastal area. So you can't place it on land because logistic is big problem. So they are going into offshore energy. So all the windmills are now big windmills, huge. Some 4 or 5 windmills together can it will be just one windmill at the offshore. So we are going into renewable energy, but at the pace. See, in fact, in Tamil Nadu we had subsidy. Now again, our Prime Minister has come up with a subsidy for solar. Wonderful. It's wonderful. After Ram Mandir inauguration, that was the first thing he promised. We are going to have so many crores of homes with solar top. Good. So such initiatives has to come. It has to be implemented all across. Even the state government has to come. But then again, as I said, it's the mass. We are a democratic country. What we say is what they hear. We shouldn't hear what they say. We'll have to make them speak. And that is the power that we have. That is what our Indian democracy is all about. So we'll have to raise the voice. We want this. We want clean water. We want wetlands. We want good forests. But today, all the forests are diluted. They want to make zoos inside the forest. How stupid. Already there are animals in the forest. They want to make a zoo inside the forest. It was like previously, same thing happened in Valangalam. There was a plan to have an aviary, a bird cage there. I said, it's a stupid idea. You have so many birds naturally coming there. Why do you want to close the lake and then have a aviary there, a bird's cage there, with all those birds there? It's natural. So same thing is happening with our now union government. They want to have zoos inside the forest. The forest is also a natural zoo. Why do they want to enclose the animals there? So this is the kind, see again, the mentality is always money. So everything, where can we make money? Even I will think of it, where can I earn 2 rupees more, 10 rupees more? But at what cost? So that you should always be, see, you should make it a habit. See, one time we say no. If you make it a habit, then it comes into your blood. So anything you see, oh my God, see, I'm so happy that we don't have a water bottle. We have a glass. That's good. So that's the trend. Previously we used to have water bottle here, sealed, so that the guest thinks, okay, it's a fresh water, it's sealed, nobody is consumed from a bottle. No, now this is the trend. This is healthy. This is so good for the planet. So we should appreciate such things. So small things we should appreciate. And we should make it a trend. We are the people who are making it viral. Whatever is in WhatsApp or whatever media, Instagram, whatever you follow. So we are the ones who are making it viral. Try to make sustainable design, sustainable ideas viral. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. I am Ram from MBA department. So, as a student, I can't stop Tata or Colgate to do things they are doing. So, as a student, what are the 3 steps which I can do and also which has the impact in the environment?
Okay. I think you are wrong. Student is the most empowered population on this planet. Most empowered. Okay, so I'm always, even the school students, that is, you are a college student, even the school student, and you're an MBA student, you are more empowered. You are the most empowered, I should say. Malala Yousaf, have you heard about it?
Yes.
About her? Yes, Nobel laureate. Greta Thunberg, heard about her? She's a student. They've all reached peaks in the student life. Previously it was all meant, United Nations dais was meant for all people old, white, grey hair like me. Today's youngsters are coming up everywhere. You have so much of power. You have the voice. Only thing, we are all diverse. We are all divided on various grounds. We should be united. That is the number 1 criteria, at least for a country like India. Diversity is great, like for biodiversity. We are a mega diverse country in terms of wildlife. Similarly, in culture, We have linguistic problem, we have religious problem, we have so many problems, caste problem, creed, whatever. We should say that is all inside the home, inside your room, inside your puja room, or namaskar, whatever. As soon as you step out of your house, forget you're a Muslim, Christian, Hindu, whatever, you are an Indian. And we should work as one, otherwise we'll have a tough time. Once you step out of your house, we are an Indian. What best can I do for my country? How can I make my country great? So you'll have to come out, join with others. Slowly, because of these media now, people are with a mobile. So I used to have so many activities for students. Now I don't find them. Sir, நீங்க வீடியோ எடுத்து அனுப்புங்க சார் நான் பாத்துக்கிறேன். So only me, I'll have to do a selfie and then send the video because everybody wants to watch on the mobile. So you'll have to come out. We need to have more outdoor activities and do more social support. Help the tribal students. We are going and reaching out to tribal students. Join us. Help us. So many activities. We are talking, like they mentioned in my profile. We take expeditions. We go on expeditions. We have so many sponsors. So if you are in the MBA, you can help us. This is how you'll have to write your letter. But now we have artificial intelligence. Now that is helping me. But you can also help us as MBA students. So this is how you'll have to frame your letter so that people, sponsors will be willing to sponsor your expedition. Not just me, any NGO for that matter. So you can contribute from whatever knowledge you have to all these people. That will make India great. Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. This is Pooja Prakash from First Year Biotech. My question is, there has been a lot of discoveries that are alternatives to a lot of things that are a threat to the sustainable development in our country. So, like there has been edible spoons instead of plastic spoons. There has been water soluble.
Excuse me. Can you just talk a bit slow because my computer is not very fast.
Yes, sir.
It's grasping very slowly. Yeah, please.
The thing is, there has been a lot of discoveries that are an alternative for the things that are threat to the sustainable development. For example, there has been edible plastic, there is edible spoons, not edible plastic exactly, water soluble plastics, edible spoons instead of plastic, and a lot of other things. There has been a soil which consumes less water for growing plants. Everything is there in the country, but what do you think is preventing these things from reaching the mass, reaching the public? Because is it lack of funds, lack of government support, or what is it? That's my question, sir.
Good question. Very good question. See, there are so many things that is happening behind the scenes. We are not aware. There's something called the lobby. They are very powerful. There are so many lobbies. They are very powerful. You might become a scientist, and if you do some research, you will be funded by some corporate, and they will have hold of your report, and they will decide whether the report will come out or not. Okay, so if you are going to make an edible spoon, the person it's going to affect is the plastic spoon or the steel spoon. So plastic is again fossil fuel based, petroleum based. So they will be concerned. So they don't want a report out. See, this is what is happening. Even in medicine, any aspect you take, big universities, Harvard, Stanford, whatever university you take, the research papers, you need fund. Without funding, you can't do any research. It's very, very, expensive. You need a lot of funds to do your research. And who's going to fund you? The corporate house. They will be the ones to fund you. And they will decide what is your conclusion, what is the report. And they are going to own your report. Many places, tobacco industry, that is what happened. They all said it caused cancer. But there were so many reports that said it causes cancer. It was all suppressed by the tobacco lobby. Until now it came out, yes, these people have stopped and they have fined them millions and billions of dollars. So it will come out very late. By the time so many people will smoke and die. Okay, not just tobacco, all these, there are so many lobbies. Petroleum lobbies are a big lobby. Thankfully the Supreme Court squashed those, what is that funding? What do you call that? Some fund they had. The State Bank of India, electoral bonds. Yes, thank you, ma'am. electoral bonds. So who do you think will fund these political parties? It's the corporate houses. So they will dictate terms to the Prime Minister or the Finance Minister or whatever minister. They will dictate terms. They will give them the electoral bonds in millions and billions of dollars. And then they will dictate, okay, I want this forest cleared for a mine. I want this forest cleared for a dam or a power plant. So thankfully the Supreme Court, they realized it shouldn't be done and they squashed that. So no more secret electoral bonds. So this is what is happening. We are not aware what is happening behind. There's a big lobby in so many industries. So whatever you do, you can learn. It's a plastic spoon or it is a decomposable bag or whatever. You need some place to sell it. So you need buyers. So who's going to buy? You need big malls, you need big shops, or you can go through small the petty shops. It's going to be a tough time for you. So what you like is you like to have a distributor. So this fellow will go and tell the distributor, he'll threaten him, don't buy the product, don't market the product. Or he'll try to put false cases on your product, saying it causes cancer or it causes this, that. This is the truth, this is the reality. This is what is happening in our world. And therefore you might not be financially sound to fight against that case. You'll close up, you'll wind up, okay, my spoon is not required. I'll go, I'll have a happy good night's sleep. This is how so many good things are being stopped. In energy sector, there are a lot of tools. Today energy will be the cheapest thing on earth. But there's a big lobby that is stopping this energy. There's a pendulum. I know somebody from Kodaikanal. So he has some apparatus that can just reduce energy cost like anything. But then he came to me and he said, sir, this is the problem, sir. I can't tell it out because I'm funded by so-and-so. And now I have signed so many papers without knowing what they wrote. And now I can't bring it out. So this is one Indian, one person, one Tamilian who I know. There are thousands of people like that who are suffering because they are funded by some corporate houses. They have done some amazing work. They have innovated something great, but it can't see the day of the light because of these lobbies. So you may do good, but everything has to fall in place. Only then you can become successful.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And for the next question.
See, we can take two more questions last.
Good morning, sir. As you all know, a few years ago, the government has announced that there is going to be a ban on the plastic bags, but still today we can see a lot of plastic bags being sold in shops. As the ambassador of Swachh Bharat, can't you make anything about it?
Good. I'm as helpless as you are. Because as I said, I'm in the group, in the Corporation Commissioners group, so I get so many photographs of people paying fines of all the plastic bags that have been taken from them. All this is happening on a regular basis, but still this is happening. So I've been seeing these photographs, images for years. So even before the union government banned it, the state government banned plastic bags. So still it's happening. So what is wrong? There's something wrong with the system. So here, நான் கொடுக்கிற மாதிரி கொடுக்கிறேன், நீ வாங்குற மாதிரி வாங்கு. So that concept is happening. Okay, so he's paying the fine, but the next day again he's on with his business. So again, it is us. We'll have to raise the voice. We'll have to write to the commissioner. We'll have to write to the state government. What is happening? What is wrong? We have banned it 2 years back. Still my roads are filled with plastic bags. So what can we do? You'll have to take action. Talk to the media. They are the best source. And today you have media at your fingertips. Raise your voice through social media. Bring it. Form a group. This is the only thing you can do. See, these are the things, like I said, Greta Thunberg. So she was all alone in front of her school. Today she has reached global level. So you don't have to wait for people to join, and people naturally join you. See, I didn't ask Dr. Radhika ma'am to invite me to your college. I am invited because I have come to that place, not in 1 or 2 years. It took me decades to reach PhD Tech. So it's always a dream that I'll have to come and speak to the students of PhD Tech. But today I realized, thanks to Dr. Radhika ma'am. So it doesn't happen. I'll have to go and invite, hey, somebody call me from PhD Tech, I'm going to speak to the students. No, it happens on its own. Only thing, you'll have to work. Everything else will fall into place. Okay, so I have been to IITs. I've been to so many institutions, prestigious institutions. So I don't go there and say, sir, please, sir, I want to speak to you. No, it so happens. You work your work, the rest will fall into place. Okay, so if we want plastic bags to stop, we'll have to take the effort, even if you're all alone. Then the crowd will follow you. So many people make jokes, they'll make fun of you. Hey, she's all alone, she wants to fight against plastic. You will win. You need to stand on your legs, stand bold, raise your voice. We will win.
Thank you, sir, for such a great inspiration.
Thank you.
We'll have 2 more questions.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What's your take on eco-friendly products whose manufacturing processes are polluting? For example, a bicycle, it is eco-friendly, we can use it, it does not create any carbon emission, but the manufacturing process of a bicycle is polluting, right? So where do we draw the line? How do we take this forward?
Good. Wonderful question. See, certain things, like you said, even EVs fall into the same thing, electric vehicles. So we all say electric vehicle is less polluting. So how do they make the lithium battery? That is polluting. How do you make the whole vehicle itself? Again, it's polluting. So the process itself has a lot of, and worse than that, how do you recharge your vehicle? So if the source of the energy is from a thermal plant, then there's no use in you using a EV vehicle. Your source of your energy should be from a solar or wind energy. Otherwise, there's no use. Like somebody in some cartoon I've seen, there's an EV vehicle, it is run out of electricity, then there's bringing a diesel generator and then charging the car. So what is the point in having a EV? You can very well have a diesel car. Okay, so good question. So what you'll have to see is, what is the footprint? Like I said about the water, the virtual water, we need to see the carbon footprint. So how much, see again, it is time consuming, but now it's all at your fingertips. You can just go to Google or ChatGPT, wherever, and you ask the question. It will give you the carbon footprint. So what is the carbon footprint of the bicycle? So how many kilometers am I going to travel using this bicycle? So if it is the same distance that I'm going by motorcycle, what is the carbon footprint? Then you'll find the bicycle is much sustainable. Maybe the process had little more carbon emission, but on the long term, in some 10-20 years when you are riding the bicycle, you are saving a lot of pollution. So that will compensate for the manufacturing process. So that is where we need to see.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
One last. Good morning, sir. This is Vanshika from Biomedical Engineering. Do you think a change from Western medicine to Ayurveda, Unani, acupuncture would help sustainability, improve sustainability?
No, see, we can't go everything at once. There are good things in Western culture. See, even if you go to Ayurvedic doctor, X-ray cannot be done by them. So you need an X-ray machine. That is again, let's say, Western culture. So we are trying to use something from the Western world to have an X-ray or a CT scan. So that aspect is good. Again, if you take the cost of the medicine, Ayurveda will be in hundreds and thousands, the cost. Whereas allopathic medicine will be in just few, at least in India, we are the cheapest in terms of medicine. So wherever you go in foreign countries, they'll always say, sir, bring me this medicine, bring me that medicine. It is very expensive abroad. In India, it's so cheap. That's one good thing in India. Medicine is very cheap. So this aspect you'll have to see. But then, only if you have plans, you can have Ayurveda. So once you go into Ayurveda, then the demand will increase. Then they will try to reclaim those forests and have those wild plants so that you can make these medicines. So they are good and they don't have side effect compared to this. And this, again, as I said, this by itself, they have a big lobby. We know about so many hospitals here, how they mint money for nothing at all. You will have to get admitted and so many days treatment, that this, ultimately patient poitar. Money pochu, patient pochu. Okay, money is not the name of the patient. Money is duddu. Okay, so both is gone. So that is what is happening. So there are so many things that we need to copy from Western culture. There are also so many things that we have in our Indian culture, Ayurvedic, Unani, Siddha. Thing is, you don't have to reach to that level. The food, our culture, our local food, adu saaptave most of the noi varade. When we go into this junk food, you get, when you come to this term, where should I go? Whether should I go to allopathy medicine or Unani medicine? Have a millets, have a natural food, have a natural season. I think we should be healthy. Okay, but what I mean to say is we need both. We need Western medicine, we need Indian medicine. Accordingly, we need to say some Indian medicines are most effective. Even for cancer, we have a lot of medicines. But some we will have to opt for Western allopathic medicine.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for your engaging questions and response. As our discussion draws to close, let us invite Ms. Subhashi Shreya, Student Coordinator, to propose a vote of thanks.
Gratitude is only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. On behalf of the organizing committee, I, Subhashri Shreya, the student coordinator, extend my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for gracing us with your presence and making the Amrit Kaal Development Dialogue a resounding success. First and foremost, I extend my sincere gratitude to our managing trustee, Shri L. Gopalakrishnan Avargal, for his unwavering support and motivation in organizing such impactful events. Thank you, sir. A special word of thanks to our respected principal, Mr. Prakasan, for his support and encouragement. Your guidance has been helpful in shaping this dialogue into a meaningful and enriching experience. I would like to express a sincere gratitude and appreciation to our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Muhammad Salim, for enlightening us with his invaluable insights and inspiring words. Your presence has added immense value to our dialogue, and we are truly honored to have had the opportunity to learn from you. A heartfelt thank you to the deans, heads of various departments, and faculty members for being present today and supporting us in various capacities. I would also like to extend a gratitude to Dr. Radhika and Dr. Bhuvneshwari, our faculty advisors, for the tireless efforts and dedication in organizing this event. Your leadership and support have been invaluable, and we are deeply grateful for your mentorship. To all the volunteers and members of Global Leaders Forum, thank you for your hard work, commitment, and enthusiasm. Your contributions have been instrumental in making this event a grand success. I thank the dedication and hard work of our supporting staff. Your efforts have been invaluable in ensuring the smooth and successful conduct of the session. Last but not the least, a heartfelt thank you to our esteemed audience for your active participation, insightful contributions, and engaging discussions. Your presence has made this dialogue a truly enriching and memorable experience. Finally, I extend my sincere appreciation to everyone who has contributed in any way to the success of this event. We kindly request all the participants to fill out the feedback form that will be shared shortly to help us improve our future events. Your support and participation have been invaluable, and we look forward to continuing our journey towards a sustainable and resilient India together. Jai Hind.
Who has spent this very invaluable time, most of his life with nature. So all of our cell phones are never switched off or is always on coverage. But Sir's cell is rarely switched on and in coverage. So he spends most of his life in the forest with the birds and nature. So it was with very difficulty that he could spare his time here. I think you should all appreciate and give him a big hand.
Thank you, everyone. With this, we bring this memorable gathering to a close. Thank you all for your gracious presence and unwavering commitment to excellence. Let us rise for the national anthem.
भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, everyone. I would like to encourage the organizing committee to gather up on the dais for a group photograph. We kindly request our participants to be seated until our dignitaries leave the hall. We request our student participants to kindly give your feedback on the session. Feedback form will be sent to all participants through the email of session.
Those who haven't signed the registration sheets, please do sign it at the registration desk outside D Block Conference Hall. Only those who have signed the sheets will be granted exemption.
I request the organizing committee to please come up on stage for a group photograph.
Refreshments for participants are provided beside the conference hall. All participants are requested to collect the same. Thank you.
The organizing committee, please make it fast to the stage.
The refreshments for the participants are provided beside the conference hall. All participants are requested to collect the same. Thank you. Those who haven't signed the registration forms, please sign them at the registration desk.